Gee, Gootecks, I'm bored.
Me too, Mike. I don't know what we're gonna do. I got it! Why don't we play with my Ancient Pogs collection?
That'll be awesome. Neato, Gootecks, Pogs!
Let's play, Mike Ross. So, Mike, do you even know how to play Pogs?
I'm the best, Gootecks, and I'm gonna show you right now.
We'll see about that.
Yeah! Oh yeah!
Oh.
In your face, Gootecks! At this point, Gootecks, you just need to give up and admit I'm the best. You cannot beat me with this stack of Pogs.
I can beat you, Mike Ross, but I'm gonna need a bigger slammer. Check this out.
So if you'd like to get yourself a Mad Catz TE stick and begin winning Street Fighter and/or Pog tournaments, go to this URL. Enter the coupon code CrossCounter and save yourself 10%. Mad Catz TE stick.
Pog champions.
Cross counter.
What was that?
I don't know what the meaning of
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
There are some Gootecks and Mike Ross stunt doubles out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Putting together ridiculous videos for no good reason.
We apologize.
Absolutely none. Sorry for wasting your time with that. Anyways, we're back. Forget what you just saw. We're back with Ultradavid and James Chen, talking a little bit about the gem system. You guys were saying, David, you were saying that the gem system from the trading card, the trading card aspect of the gem system is not your favorite.
Not a huge fan of that part of it. And that's because I feel like that encourages, so you have to invest something to get good in this game.
Yeah.
And it's either time and brain power, or it's dollars. And in this case, it's dollars. And I feel that from a competitive, strategic kind of point of view, that's not at all what we should be going for.
Okay, did you guys, here's the question though. Did you guys play Magic the Gathering?
I did.
Okay.
Oh.
All right, good.
Did you, James?
I did not.
So we're together on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll
I
just
mean,
sit
this
back
was,
and
let me say,
I
this was a
purposely
dozen years
stayed
ago.
away from
Right, yeah. It was, you're saying it wasn't yesterday.
No.
Okay, no. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But just because you had, let's say, the coveted Black Lotus, you remember the Black Lotus?
I do remember the Black Lotus. I had a fake version that I printed on regular paper.
There we go. These are the confessions that we like here on Cross Counter Live. But just because you had the Black Lotus doesn't make you a good player.
Right.
Doesn't mean that just because you had the Black Lotus doesn't mean that you were going to win every match.
Right.
Well, that's because the Magic team knows how to balance things.
Well, okay, so I mean, when you're playing casually, having a card that was particularly good really helped you out. But at the highest end of thing, and I actually have a good friend now who is on the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour, and he went to Japan, and he's really into it. And so I have a lot of respect for the strategic side of Magic, but that's at the high levels where everybody has access to all the cards because they put in the money for all the cards that they want to have, right? So whatever their strategy is, they buy whatever the cards are that they need to use. And just speaking from my friend's perspective, he would rather, like, he also plays fighting games, and he loves the fact that, as James was saying, that everybody has access to the same characters for the same amount of money, and it's just an immediately level playing field. And instead of, whereas for my friend, in order to get up to like the competitive levels, you have to spend a certain amount of money to get there. with us, we just start out like you're there.
Yeah.
We're already playing strategy games, and I really like that. So I mean, my friend wouldn't be able to make his living as a Magic the Gathering card speculator. He wouldn't be able to do that as well, but.
All right. Well.
But yeah.
Point taken.
Point taken. I'm optimistic about the gem system because I think it'll add a whole. Everything that you're saying, I totally think it'll be like that. Except I think it's a good thing.
I mean, just from another standpoint, like, if you didn't buy certain gems, and let's say your opponent at a tournament all of a sudden equips auto tech throws, and you've never fought against that before, you have no way to develop a strategy against that now. Because you didn't pre-order it from Best Buy. No, I think so.
Well, yeah, if it was something wacky, but I think auto tech is going to be something that a lot of people will play with.
But what if you just don't have it?
I think those will be included.
I mean, but I get what you're saying.
But
Like,
yeah,
there's still
no,
going to
yeah,
be some gyms.
If there was some sort of like
Right.
character-specific one you've never seen, then I think that makes it more exciting.
I don't know, like, that's what
but
I'm
no,
saying.
I totally understand like how it messes up how things have been for so long.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the basic idea of gems are cool. I like the idea of customizing a character in a set of ways. That's a cool idea. It's like CVS2 grooves, but like way fancier. So that's a cool idea, and I feel like it could be done in a really fun and like competitive and strategic way. But I just don't think that that's what they're going for here. So I'd love it if it worked out.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting it.
If all Ono said there's hundreds of gems on the disc, right? If they were all available to everyone who bought the disc right from the get-go, then I would have nothing to say. Then I would be like, bring on gems. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. You know, it's really more just the implementation on how you get the gems and whether you have them or not, and now you have to spend extra money for them, you know. I mean, why not, at this rate, why not just say, here, download this pack that adds 3 invincibility frames to reuse uppercut.
Right.
You know, I mean, honestly, why not just do that?
Well, hopefully, we can get our sticky paws on it. You know, get some early reconnaissance.
Right.
And then I'll make sure, if this thing turns out good, you're going to be the first person I text. And it's just going to say, I told you so. I told you so.
I'd love to do that because that would mean that the game turned out good.
Yeah.
And for sure, if I'm wrong, I'd love to be wrong about this.
Yeah,
Obviously,
no doubt.
obviously, as fighting game fans, we don't, people that are kind of hesitant about it all want to be proven wrong.
Totally.
Right.
So we just got to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, so we'll take a wait-and-see approach on the gems, which brings us to our next topic of conversation, another heavy hitter.
Yeah, exactly.
If you guys saw recently on iPlayWinner.com, Mr. Jared, who has now recently announced that he is the new community manager at Twitch TV. Yes.
Congratulations, Jared.
Excellent. He wrote an article that I think kind of lit a fire under a lot of people about commentary.
Yes.
Esports commentary versus fighting game community commentary. Yes. And you guys being such experts in fighting game commentary, I mean, I saw you on Wednesday, James. At Wednesday Night Fights, you and AJ Papa were going in on that article.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that, James?
I mean, honestly, it's actually something that I know, like David and I have talked about before. You know, we would like to get fighting game commentary up to, a different level, a more professional level. But at the same time, there's something the personality of the fighting game community is so different than most other communities, mainly because we grew up in the arcade.
Yeah.
And the arcade environment, just was the natural breeding ground for people yelling things. And that's where like a lot of the humor and a lot of the, just kind of the weird slang that comes out, just like you find some goofy nickname for your favorite special move at your local arcade, and when someone does that special move, everyone shouts it, and that's just the way it's always kind of been, and, that's the kind of atmosphere that I just feel like fighting games have, and that needs to be preserved. That kind of spontaneous kind of, and I also just think that fighting games also lend themselves well to just shock moments, like more so than any game. So honestly, you can't help it when something crazy happens. You just go, oh, and it just happens. It's not something we're like consciously going, I need to find the next place to yell, you know? It just happens.
You can't plan it. I mean, other games allow for that.
Right.
You know, like StarCraft, I'll just say, you see both armies. You know, you see what everybody has.
Right, here we go,
commentating
here
and
we
stuff
go,
like that.
yeah.
You know something's going to happen, but it's not like, you know, you can't see one side. Then it'd be
Right.
more hype, I guess, if you can only see it from one person's perspective.
Right.
But, you know, you have so much time to get hype and stuff like that. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's just different, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, there are major shock moments in StarCraft too,
Yeah.
of course. But the difference in this part of it is just the speed that the games have, right? So like a fighting game, an entire set in the winners finals might take like 10 minutes or like 15 minutes, right?
Sure.
And that means that like when a moment happens, it's like particularly crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's just there's such a small period of time, like something crazy is gonna happen really fast, and you gotta just respond.
Right.
Whereas in StarCraft, there can be like a build up and like there's like a denouement and like, all this stuff, right? So I mean, which I love. I love watching StarCraft. That kind of stuff. It's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's
there is that the difference in the speed, and that means that the way that we talk has to be a little bit different too, because we can't finish sentences and ideas.
Right.
I mean, it happens all the time. Every match.
Dude, we always joke that, you know, being a fighting game commentator requires you to go, oh, that was a really crafty uppercut, but then, and then,
You gotta be ready
that's
to cut
just-
yourself
that's just
off.
it,
Oh, yeah.
and then you just have to drop that thought. But that's just the way it all works, you know.
Yeah, I mean, early on, I remember we kind of had that issue of like, and still sometimes we do,
Right.
of wanting to continue to finish our thought, but it's not as important at whatever is happening now. So we have to like jump around. It's kind of fragmented. It lends itself to acronyms or to nicknames and that kind of stuff, because we just have such a small amount of time to talk. We have to fit everything in, and that means that you know, sometimes just pure hype like takes precedence over describing strategy or the situation. So.
Maybe what's needed then is some sort of understanding of a compromise. And I don't mean a compromise in the sense like, oh, you got to tone down the hype when you're doing it live. But one of the things that I noticed the StarCraft community does that there's not a lot of in fighting games, even though there are a few guys that do it. Like shout outs to Ryan Hunter from Office Select for holding it down. But like, for example, Day 9, who's arguably the largest, most well-known StarCraft caster, he'll do the Day 9 daily where he analyzes the match. And so he'll, you know, pause it and he'll be able to talk about what he's doing or about what the guys are doing.
That,
And because he's doing it not live, or, you know, he's not doing it in a tournament setting, he has more time to explain what's going on. Maybe as the fighting game community grows, maybe we need more of that. More on demand. Yeah. Ooh.
What do you think about that, James Chen?
I think that's something worth looking into.
Something of note.
I'll see.
You see what you guys see what I did there? See what I did there?
So how about this? Can we borrow you guys to do some of your commentary genius for our Rise of the Web Warrior
Tournament?
Sure.
I mean, can I get the check in advance? Is that all right?
I will write it to you right now. It's got one number on it.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure, totally.
0.
All right, well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with the Rise of the Web Warrior tournament, and we're going to have guest commentators, James Chen, Ultradavid.